Video games often make us feel like we're the heroes of our own journeys. We're doing things that are impossibly hard tasks because we know that we can break through and make the decisions that need to be made in order to reach the goals that are there in front of us. Yet, when we come to reality, it finds us to be lacking in that division. It finds us to see these challenges, go, and then just go back to playing the video games. At least, this was my experience. For the longest time, I was addicted to playing video games. I was constantly coming home from school or work and sitting down in front of my computer and just playing games. I wasn't doing anything with my life, and yet I felt this innate feeling of I need to do more, I can do more, I must do more. And that's when I started thinking, how can I change my life in order to start motivating myself like I do when I am a video game character? To do those little mundane tasks that I know make progress in my life, but I didn't want to do at the time. So to give context as to where this journey kind of started for me, is that when I entered university, I started looking into different productivity tips while at the same time I was studying video game design. And when looking into video games, there was this aspect of the psychology used in order to engage people to be playing more often, more longer sessions, so on and so forth. And in particular, the idea of gamification, the idea that we can take these principles and convert them into our real life as well. And since then, I have played with a number of different ways to integrate gamification into my life to motivate me to do the things that I wanted to do. And it works. There is a lot of different things that I've implemented that help me become the person I am today. They've made me push myself beyond my limits because I knew that in doing the certain tasks that needed to get done, as boring and as soul draining as they were, they helped me reach the state where I am now and where I'm planning to be going in the future. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll understand that I have an obsession with turning my life into a video game so I can level up, get better, and then share the same tactics and tools with you guys so that you can level up as well. So if you're ready to take that step forward, let's start talking about the fundamental underlying structure of everything that we do, and that is purpose. In a game, when you start it up, usually you are given a task, a quest in which you are given a purpose. You are to do this. You are to work towards defeating the big bad guy. You are to travel across the land to save the princess. You are to build this little farm community so that you can live a joyous life. Each of these, although very different tasks, have this core principle which is defining the core purpose in which we are working towards. We have this goal that we know is our North Star that we can work towards, and it helps us push through those little mundane sort of tasks that make us question why we're doing it. It gives us a why. One of the things that really changed my mind about purpose and whatnot was a book by Viktor Frankl called Man's Search for Meaning. Now, I won't go into the details of the book. I have covered that before in previous videos, but the core principle that I found that he had been sharing is that once someone has lost their why, their overarching goal that they're working towards, it is very clear to see that. And you can see when people start to give up how their life deteriorates around them. In his case, quite literally, some of his friends started giving up and dying. And when you think about this, the idea that when we lose our why, it is a terrifying thought. And it clicked to me in another sort of much less dramatic way, in that when you finish a game, you feel this sense of emptiness. And I think, yes, it's because you realize the amount of time you've dedicated to a game only for it to be done. But also, there is this sense of, I've done the thing, now what? And that looming sense of, I don't know what I'm doing next, has been something that I know I've fought with my whole life. I've been a creative and artist my whole life, and as such, I've had this need to create and design and put things out there for other people to see. And when it's done, there is always this sense of looming, this sense of, oh God, it's finished. What do I do with myself now? So because of that, I start looking into how games create this overwhelming sense of purpose, this overarching goal. And in particular, recently I came across the Octalysis framework by Yu-Kai Chao. And again, I apologize if I screwed up that name, I've never heard it properly. But in this framework, he outlines 8 core principles, and the first one that gets documented is the one of greater purpose, greater meaning, the hero journey that we go on. The idea that in any successful gamification project, there is something that takes the user or the player and pushes them to search for more, to work towards more. There's this overarching goal in which we have to achieve that is greater than the oneself. And once I found that out, I really started to get my gears turning of, yes, there are many different times in life where I have a purpose, where it's a project, or I have to make something, or I have to talk to someone, and there is that singular quest in front of me. That said, I've started to play around with the idea of having a greater purpose, something that isn't just based in what I need right now, but being able to push forward knowing that there isn't exactly a deadline, there isn't exactly a finished goal, but it is something that fuels me to drive forward. And right now, that's why I'm making these videos. It is to see if I can share my knowledge and insights on how to turn my life into a video game. And in doing so, hopefully I can also inspire other people to start living their lives as well, because I know there are people like me who are in that place of, I'm lost, I don't know what to do, my life sucks, I just need to escape to video games. I was there and it sucks, and hell, I even fall into that nowadays when I find a new game and I just die to it. I spend all night playing it, and then I wake up in the morning going, I didn't get enough sleep, oh, now I have to go through another day. But in knowing that I am following a passion that is both enriching my life in trying to figure out how I can have more fun and gain my life, but also share that with other people. Because if I can benefit other people through my actions, then I know that there is an external force that is greater than myself that I am serving in a way. And once I have that, I can start to follow another one of the Octalysis framework, which is the player freedom to create their own journey. The one to go, hey, this is where I need to go, but it doesn't mean I need to follow that path. I can jump up on this area over here, explore that, and then take that way around so I don't have to do that fight in the middle. And from what I found, there are so many ways to do that in life. A book I also recently read was The Third Door by Alex Benyon. And the concept of the third door is that in life, there are 3 ways that you can get into a place. The first is you can line up with everybody else. You can stand in line, pay your money, enter normally. The second is to be powerful or important enough where you get escorted to the front of the line and let through. And that's where most people exist, either the first or the second door. That said, there is the third door. Those who go, I see the line there, but let me go around the corner, see if there's an open window, I'll climb through there, go through the kitchen, and then hey, guess what, I'm there as well. It's the path that people don't take because it doesn't make sense. It's the one where you have to kick and scratch your way forward, and I found that that is exactly the path that I thoroughly enjoy playing. Be it in video games or in life, it is the third path that has always brought me the most enriching aspect. And that's why I love being able to see life as a game, because it makes me go, okay, there is this challenge in front of me. And in a linear game, yes, that's what I have to do. But what about if I didn't do it that way? What about if I did it in a different way? What if I created my own way to both enjoy what I'm doing and propel myself forward so that I don't have to worry the way everyone else does? I can make my own path and end up way ahead of everyone else that's going down that path. And going back to the principle that is ownership of one's path, being able to go, hey, this is what I did. Not knowing that other people may have done it, other people have not done it. It doesn't matter. Because in that moment, I decided that that was my path, that was who I am, and that was the journey I was wanting to take. I do this in games, I do this in real life, and it's always better for it. And that then bridges into the third pillar of the Octalysis framework, which is empowerment. This thing that gives the user or the player this feeling of, hey, I tried this and it worked. And it makes you feel empowered with your own decisions, making you go, hey, I don't need to do things the way everyone else tells me I need to do them. I can test it this way, I can see that it worked, and it will empower me to then continually make these actions and start defining myself as a character. And then leaning into one of the other pillars of accomplishment, making sure that as I'm going along, I see that I'm making progress, I'm gaining experience, I'm leveling up, I'm making these class experience levels that I know are so personal to me and my journey that as I get them, I feel so rewarded, I feel so accomplished that I can look back and go, hey, yeah, I have done this, and this. And that's all because I decided that my journey was going to be defined this way and I was going to focus on these things. One of my favorite tropes in games is being able to just create my character. There are so many games where I haven't played most of the game, but I've spent hours in the character creator making sure that every single thing is right, and then when I start defining my class, going, I like the stealthy builds, I like the mage builds, I like whatever build it is, I've gone, that is how I want to play my character. And you can do that in real life. You can go, hey, I have a love for computer science. I love being able to figure out all the problems and code and whatnot. And although for a lot of people, that is not a path anyone wants to go down, there's something I find personally very fascinating in it. That's how I made my whole RPG system. It's because I have this love of problem solving and coding and design and art and doing these stupid things that somehow, when they're done, make me feel fulfilled and help me propel in life, but also bring value to other people. If you'd have told me a decade ago that I would be making my living making decisions based on turning myself into a video game character or an RPG character or just living life like something in a game, then I would have gone, okay buddy, I'm gonna go back to work now. Not realizing that we have a freedom in this life of ours nowadays. We do have the ability to make a living off of making systems that, like video games, help propel us forward in life. And like I mentioned previously, being able to take something that you love, turn it into a greater purpose that both serves you and other people. Once you find that thing that you're passionate about, see if you can start tugging on strings and go, what does this look like? Because once you do, when you start exploring and training yourself in certain areas, you can continually develop your skills and knowledge. One of the big breakthroughs for me was when I learned about brain elasticity. The brain itself is such a fundamentally crazy thing, and understanding how it works 100% is, to me, impossible. I don't comprehend so many things. That said, I do comprehend one thing. It's that like a muscle, it only grows when you are actively using it. You are never limited based on what you know. You can always learn more, skill yourself up, and become better. And that has been proven over and over again by so many people. If you want to go look into the studies, there's tons of them out there. You are never stuck. And that's a beautiful thing, because when you look at games, we pick up a new game, we start playing it, and we go, I don't know how this works, it's so infuriating. And we keep playing it, until eventually we go, oh, I get it. I can jump over this part, I can use this skill here, I can start developing these skills over here so I can defeat this boss. And you can do that in life as well. Making sure that you realize you can level up, you can choose the skills that you want to level up and build your class off of that. And that brings me to my final point. When I was playing games and I wasn't really enjoying life, I felt like everything was a struggle. Even playing games, I felt drained afterwards going, what else can I do? That said, now that I've started converting these aspects to real life, being able to find passion in the things that I do and helping others do the same things, I love that I get to pretend to be a video game character every day of my life. I get to go, hey, what is my quest for today? And get to physically become the character that is achieving the goals that I set for my quest originally. That isn't to say I don't struggle still. Yes, everything in life is going to have a struggle. But when you can see it through the lens of playing it as a video game, you realize, oh, that's just a mob that I have to defeat. I may have to try it 2 or 3 times to understand the patterns and make sure that I can defeat it. Yet at the same time, once I do, I know that I'm better, I'm leveled up, I'm stronger, I'm quicker, whatever it is. And now I can move on to the next boss. And yes, that one's gonna suck as well until I defeat it. All the while, I can enjoy it. I can see myself getting better. I can practice the skills that I want to learn and become better because of it. And all the while, I can continually level up to reach the goals that I want to reach. So if you've made it this far and that sounds like something you'd be interested in, feel free to check the link in the video description, because there is a whole series that I've made about creating this, which is my real life RPG system, a way that turns a very simple task tracker into an interface that makes it feel like you're playing a game. And likewise, all the videos that I make are going to be based around me turning my life into a video game, showing you guys the tactics that I'm using, the insights that I gain, and hopefully helping you develop your own life as well in a way that feels like a game, feels like you are the hero of your own journey. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, subscribe. There's 2 videos a week, and hopefully I will see you here for the next one. Thank you again for watching.